Dean's Blue Hole by Michael Bonet and Elizabeth Lai.
To start off this presentation, I'll be talking about Dean's Blue Hole's appearance and description. This wonder is a natural underwater sinkhole that is called a blue hole because it is filled with water. The diameter of this site ranges from 82 to 115 feet, or 25 to 35 meters, and is 663 feet, or 202 meters deep. As you can tell by the image provided in this slide, the water is extremely clear, and on clear, calm, good days, you can visibly see up to 115 feet deep into the hole. The dark colored center indicates that the hole is outstandingly deep, but the outer ring of the hole is light in color because the hole is not the same width and depth throughout. There is actually a slanted sand layer which creates a sandfall that is mentioned in stop 2 of this virtual field trip. These features are distinctive characteristics of Dean's Blue Hole in comparison to other blue holes around the world. Moreover, the blue color of the site is created by the high transparency of the water and the bright white carbonate sand, allowing it to reflect the color blue. Lastly, the water present in the site is actually pretty warm, with an average temperature of 27 degrees Celsius, making it an ideal temperature for many aquatic animals in the area. Moving forward, the term blue hole can be dated back to 1834 and 1833 when British navigators described a water-filled depression to indicate these geological habits. Furthermore, blue holes have also been used to describe artesian springs. That does not actually define and constitute what a blue hole is. Artesian means that there is a supply of water beneath the Earth's surface that pushes the water upward by hydrostatic pressures in rocks or unconsolidated material underground. With that said, blue holes are notably different from springs because of their opposite current patterns. Groundwater flows out of the spring, while bodies of water fill and flow within blue holes. However, not all blue holes have this reversing flow attribute, so it's not seen as a factor of formation, but instead a reasoning behind the blue hole's flow pattern.
Blue holes can be seen as shaft-like depressions that are flooded with seawater. The formation of blue holes is either by karst processes or by bank margin fracture. Blue holes are described as looking like cenotes, which are vertical shafts in limestone that lead up and open to the surface of the ocean. Formation of blue holes has been ascribed to 4 different processes. The first is drowning of vadose karst features or sinkholes. The second is phreatic dissolution along an ascending halocline. Third is the collapse of deep-seated phreatic dissolution voids or conduits. And fourth is voids formed by fracture associated with bank margin failure. Blue holes may form from any one of these processes or a combination of them. The first view is in the development of sinkholes would be the result of surface dissolution, which is a common process in karst areas. These sinkholes would have developed during ages of glaciation and low sea levels as a result. These sinkholes would then be flooded during periods of deglaciation when the sea levels would then rise. The second view is that phreatic dissolution along a halocline produces a descending void that may eventually reach blue hole sizes, where long caves would develop along the base and head upward to the platform following the halocline. The reason for this dissolution is due to the salinity of the halocline, which is where fresh and salt water meet and form a vertical shaft with increasing salinity as you increase in depth. The third view is that these blue holes are flooded vadose shafts. In this model, water drained by the surface by vadose shafts is also connected to deep phreatic passages, which in turn developed during past glacial periods which had a lower sea level. These shafts would then become flooded due to a rise in sea level from melting ice to its current level. The fourth and final view is that steep sides of carbonate banks can produce deep fissures, which run parallel to the bank margin. Flooding can occur in these fissures once again when sea levels rise after a glaciation period, resulting in another blue hole.
With all, a main takeaway is that Dean's Blue Hole is a sinkhole which is created by exposure to chemical weathering and erosion of the limestone-rich surface, allowing exposure to the carbonate bedrock. The collapsed surface layer that submerges the sinkhole with the surrounding body of water creates the blue hole. Using the image provided, we can see that groundwater gradually dissolves limestone until the ceiling of these voids collapse, or rainwater seeps into limestone through a crevice and gradually makes it wider.
Blue holes are described as looking like cenotes, which are vertical shafts in limestone that lead up and open to the surface of the ocean. The formation of these holes occur during past ice ages or glaciation periods, when sea levels on average were 100 to 120 meters lower. These sinkholes are filled and submerged with water due to glacial melting and an overall reduction in the volume of ice. Many blue holes contain fresh and salt water, and the halocline is where this occurs and results in a rock dissolving reaction. This reaction is what leads to the formation of side passages as you descend into a blue hole. This dissolution that occurs is what is known as a karst process.
The blue holes also have many different cave environments. All of these cave formations would have been done during the glaciostatic rise, which is the global sea level change due to terrestrial ice level shifts. These underwater caves are time capsules of thousands of years of history and mineral formation and are spectacular calcite cathedrals of stalactites and stalagmites, draperies, and fine cylindrical deposits called straws. There are estimated to be more than 1,000 underwater caves in the Bahamas, and only 20% of them have been explored. Exploring caves require highly specialized training, equipment, and experience, and the ability to work under tremendous time pressure. You can say this type of exploration is on the same level as climbing Mount Everest or K2.
Many blue holes are seen to be forming along faults or fractures that are often parallel to the bank margin. These fractures are thought to be the result of mechanical failure of the steep bank margin. These openings then provided openings to flood voids, which are blue holes. All that's needed to form a blue hole and satisfy its definition is a mechanism producing a deep flooded void that can be accessed by the surface. The exact definition of a blue hole is not clear as characteristic requirements change among scientists. Some scientists posit that blue holes are developed in carbonate rocks and must have a greater width to depth ratio that extend below sea level for most of their depth. Blue holes also have been argued that they should be separated into categories of ocean holes and inland holes, where ocean holes will open directly into oceans or the lagoon and are influenced by tides, while inland blue holes open directly onto land surfaces or ponds and lakes and could be influenced by fresh or marine water chemistry and tides.
Withal, Dean's Blue Hole is primarily composed of carbonates, which include limestone, coral reef matter, and other organic remains. Blue holes are known to become sediment dumps that as a result can store important paleoenvironmental archives, giving us information about past environments. To add, blue holes are also known to store information on tropical cyclones and other climate records.
Fun fact is that in 1992, the president of Deep Breathing System, Jim King, reached the bottom of the hole, which is 202 meters, where pressure increases, but he used gear to help him since it would be extremely dangerous without it. In addition, in April of 2010, William Trowbridge broke the free driving world record in the blue hole by reaching a depth of 92 meters without gear. To continue, due to the lack of oxygen present at the deepest part of the blue hole, the environment is similar to outer space in regards to organism activity. Furthermore, scientists have found a 3,000-year-old Cuban crocodile skull at the bottom of the hole, which is an animal that is no longer found in the Bahamas. Since there is practically no oxygen and movement in the deepest part of the site, blue holes are able to preserve bones and keep them intact. In fact, scientists have found preserved bones of crocodiles, tortoises, bats, owls, beetles, and other species that thrived in the Bahamas long before people. Here are citations for the pictures used in the slide.
That was the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.